In today's lecture, we'll discuss about the ultrastructure of bacteria. As we all know that the bacteria is the smallest unicellular organism and the size of the bacteria ranges from 0.75 to 4 micrometers in diameter. It belongs to the family of prokaryotes. But before understanding the ultrastructure of bacteria, first let us discuss about various morphological forms of bacteria. The bacteria is basically having three morphological forms. Number one is a coccus bacteria, number two is a bacillus bacteria, and number three is a spiral bacteria. The coccus bacteria is having a spherical shape, whereas the bacillus bacteria is having a rod-shaped structure. If we talk about the spiral bacteria, these spiral bacteria are having somewhat twisted structure. The coccus bacteria is again subdivided into various morphological forms. Number one is a micrococcus bacteria in which only a single coccus exists. Micrococcus are generally the gram-positive bacteria. The second coccus bacteria is a diplococcus bacteria in which two coccus bacteria they pair together, and the most common example is Diplococcus pneumoniae. The third coccus bacteria is a streptococcus bacteria in which various coccus bacteria they are arranged in the form of a chain. For example, Streptococcus lactis. The next coccus bacteria is a Staphylococcus bacteria in which various coccus bacteria they are arranged in the form of a group just like as a bundle of grapes. And the most common example is Staphylococcus aureus. The next coccus bacteria is a tetrad in which four coccus bacteria they live together. And the last coccus bacteria is a Sarcini in which various coccus bacteria they form a cube-like structure. Coming to the next morphological forms of bacteria, that is the bacillus bacteria in which it is having somewhat rod-shaped structure. The bacillus bacteria is again subdivided into three forms. Number one is a microbacillus in which only a single bacillus bacteria is available. The second bacillus bacteria is a diplobacillus bacteria in which two bacillus bacteria they pair together. And the last bacillus bacteria is a streptobacillus bacteria in which various bacillus bacteria they arrange in the form of a chain. For example, Streptobacillus anthracis. The third morphological form of the bacteria is a spiral bacteria. These spiral bacteria are having somewhat twisted structure. These spiral bacteria are again subdivided into three forms. Number one is a Vibrio bacteria. It is having somewhat comma-shaped structure, and the most common example is a Vibrio cholerae bacteria. The next spiral bacteria is a Spirilla, and these Spirilla bacteria is having somewhat helical structure, or they are arranged in the form of a corkscrew. The third spiral bacteria are spirochetes. Spirochetes are having somewhat similar structure to that as that of the spirilla, but they have the axial filaments to move. Now let us discuss the ultrastructure of bacteria. The structure of bacteria can be studied into two sections. Number one is the external structure of bacteria and number two is the internal structure of bacteria. So first let us consider the external structure of bacteria. The external structure of bacteria basically composed of the cell wall, capsule, the flagella and the pili. So one by one we will discuss all these four external features of a bacteria. So the first feature is the cell wall. The cell wall, the main function of the cell wall is the protection of the bacteria from the external structure. If we look at the chemical composition of the cell wall, then this cell wall is basically made up of peptidoglycan complex, and this peptidoglycan complex is made up of disaccharides which are linked together with the help of the polypeptide. The monosaccharides which are involved in the formation of the disaccharides are N-acetyl-uramic acid and N-acetyl-glucosamine. Now, there are various categories of the antibiotics like penicillin which actually act by damaging the cell wall. So, the mode of action of many antibiotics is dependent upon the functionality of the cell wall. Coming to the next external structure of the bacteria, that is a capsule. Capsule basically refers to the substance that surrounds the cell wall. Capsule is also called as glycocalyx. Capsule is basically made up of polysaccharide or peptide, and in some cases it is having the combination of both the polysaccharide and the peptide. Coming to the next external feature of the bacteria, that is a flagella. Flagella is basically having a hair-like appendages that exists from the cytoplasm. The main function of the flagella, that is, it is responsible for providing the motion or the movement to the bacteria. The size of the flagella ranges from 3 to 12 micrometers in length. Again, the flagella is also subdivided into various types. Number 1 is atrichous. In some cases, the bacteria does not contains the flagella, that's why it is called as atrichous. Next category of the flagella is monotrichous. Sometimes only a single flagella emerges out from the bacteria, then it is considered as monotrichous. Next is amphitrichous. Amphitrichous is a category of the flagella in which the flagella exists from both the sides of the bacteria. The next category of the flagella is lophotrichous. Sometimes multiple flagella emerges from the bacteria from the single side, then it is called as lophotrichous. And the last category of the flagella is amphitrichous. In that case, many flagellas are surrounded, they are present all around the surrounding of the bacteria. The next external structure of bacteria are the villi. Villi are again the hair-like appendages that comes out of the surface of the bacterial cell. The main purpose of the villi, they are responsible for the adherence of the bacterial cell either on the surface or with some other cell. They are made up of some specialized proteins which are called as pili. Now let us discuss the internal structure of bacteria. The internal structure of bacteria basically composed of the cytoplasm, the ribosomes, the mesosomes, the nucleoids and the granular inclusion. So one by one we'll discuss all the internal features of a bacteria. So first let us consider about the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm of a bacteria is a very thick, semi-transparent and aqueous in nature. It is basically composed of 89% of water. Apart from water, it is also having the components of carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, nucleic acid and all the different organelles of the bacteria are suspended in the cytoplasm. The next internal structure of bacteria is a mesosome. Mesosomes are considered as a convoluted convergence of the cell membrane, and the major function of the mesosome is that it provides the site for the DNA replication mechanism and it also helps in the process of secretion. The next internal feature of a bacteria is a ribosome. In case of bacteria, the ribosome is having 70S category and it is made up of two subunits. One is a larger subunit and one is a smaller subunit. The main function of the ribosome is that it provides the site for the protein synthesis. And there are various antibiotics like streptomycin, gentamicin. They actually act by inhibiting the process of protein synthesis at ribosome. The next internal structure of bacteria is nucleoid. That is the genetic material of bacteria. So this nucleoid is basically made up of a DNA which is having a double helical structure. All the genetic information which is required for the survival of the bacteria is stored in this nucleoid. In bacteria, one more genetic material is present which is called as a plasmid. Plasmid is an extra chromosomal material and it is having circular in shape and it is having self-replicating property. It has been observed like scientists are using this plasmid for the production of various recombinant product and in case of genetic engineering. The next internal structure of bacteria is granular inclusions. These granular inclusions are basically the repositories, or these are basically the sac-like structure that is composed of various gas granules, various lipids, various nutritional material. They are all stored in this granular inclusions.